Afternoon, traders. This is my end of day video, real quick here. Things that are happening today, guys. So we are getting the end of day sell off here. We were seeing sell signal building here, right? For at the 68.50 into the close here on the ESs. We're rejecting away from this up here is our dealer cluster zone for ESs, and we're rejecting back away from that here into the close here. So heads up on that. We are above. The black line represents today's anchored VWAP. You know, this happened, I anchored that from 9:30 this morning, and we're still above that at the moment. Then we also have a few other anchored VWAP. This here is our Monday anchor VWAP. That's below us. This here is our, I think that's our Friday anchor VWAP, if I remember right. So bottom line is we were really moving staying above all of our anchor VWAPs here into the close. Came right down to that anchor VWAP. If you were in the SPX 0 DTEs, that was the place to take your profits. Right there, the tag of that anchor VWAP. See if that bounces back up here for the rest of the session. Of course, my cat comes in right when I start here. So some things happening today, guys. If you notice here, we do have a little bit, look at the volumes here on the put side. Here we are, we're into the dealer cluster area, and you see these are some pretty hefty volumes on the leaderboard on the put size sizzles index. So up at these levels, we do see a very good indication that there's a lot of put activity up at these prices. So be very mindful of that. These are our top 50 sizzle puts. These are our top sizzle 50s calls. Okay, guys. So the calls are showing up there, but both sides are actually hitting. That's why the volume's so high. But so just keep that in mind as well. Okay, so yeah. So bottom line is, gives us some ideas of what's happening in the markets today. Okay, on the ESs slash NQ. Now telemarketers call figures. NQs here, guys. So the NQs, they're closing inside the dealer cluster zone. We held above the 25,500. We didn't even make it back down to our today's anchored VWAP here. 5 minutes ago, we might still make it back down to this before the close. Probably a pretty good chance, actually. We'll get back down to that here in the next 5 minutes. Heads up on that. But we, very bullish. We had this at 12:45. We had that one last little thing here, and people were starting to get worried. And I mentioned to us, I wouldn't get too worried. We haven't lost 25,500 yet, and that's exactly where they held it. And that's where we spent the rest of the afternoon, right inside of our dealer cluster zone. Uh, Very illiquid up in this area, so this could very well be a bull trap for swing traders. So be very mindful of that. Whenever anybody who's taking swing positions into this dealer cluster zone, you could wake up tomorrow with a gap down, a rejection, very, very, very easily. So be very mindful of that in your trading. So 4 minutes ago in the trading session here, guys. So some of the things that's been going on here. Okay, the purple line that I was showing you on the NQs, that's from the Monday open. So the purple line represents the Monday open. The red line represents uh, uh, the breakout, the beginning of this cycle, the cycle move here. That's what that represents, the beginning of the beginning of the cycle. So that's really bullish. But you can also use this red line to see how some of the megatechs are behaving in relation to this last push into into these GEX clusters, and that sometimes can give you a tell. And what I did notice today here, one of the things going on was Tesla. And guess what, guys? So from that last push here, Tesla came down and did a hard back test of that anchored VWAP. So be very mindful of that. It was showing some relative weakness, but ultimately it ended up double bottoming and saving it so far. But we did have, in my opinion, a breakout scenario on Tesla that failed. And only an hour later, we came right down into that major support. So I can't say this is out of the woods at all. Okay, so I don't know which way this is going to go, but I'm telling you, we had two major area. We had a rejection to the upside and a rejection to the downside in today's session. So a big takeaway going into tomorrow's session. I'm not sure which way it's going to go. Another one that's been underperforming the market, that's Google. So since that last push in the markets, Google has not participated in that run. The one that has actually been leading the run is Apple. Okay, Apple has been leading the run on our megatex on that final push here, Apple. Okay, and guys, remember, we're in a lot of positive gamma here. Uh, I think the 285 is the real critical one, but we do have positive gamma all the way up to 290 area, which is very still quite possible for the end of the week, 290, the way things are going. Uh, but I do want to point out we are closing above the 285, so that's important to note. But we're kind of building a base above, so this is a bull flag above 285 to close that session. Acting uh, pretty bullish here for tomorrow's session. So that one takeaway suggests to me that I'd much rather be on the long side than the short side in the overnight. Microsoft, uh, hanging above that trend there. Yeah, it's holding out with doing a little bit of an outperform and stuff. We're into the dealer cluster zone. Just pretty much more sideways on that one. Meta, I tried to trade earlier this morning, but it just wouldn't. It wouldn't take off. It finally looks like it's kind of going higher. This was the breakout early on this morning. We were trying to do a breakout and it failed. I tried to buy down here around the 20 hour and it continued to go lower. Uh, the 2 hour 20 SMA, and it continued to go. Okay, go a little bit lower, so I went ahead and stopped out real quick on that one. And but yeah, it is just very slowly chopping to the upside, so be very mindful of that one going forward here. Okay, Apple, Amazon. We'll do NVIDIA here in a second. See, we're seeing a little bit of an outperform on Amazon. Still just kind of digesting sideways on that one. And then all important NVIDIA. Okay, we do have one of the semiconductors reporting after hours here. One of the big ones, or one of the important ones. So the semis have been getting a bid going into these. There's two semiconductor AI related semiconductors that are reporting this week, and we have been getting a bid up in the semiconductors in lieu of that. I'd have to think for a minute here to remember what that company is. Give me 1 second here. We'll look it up on Earnings Whisper. Okay, guys, CrowdStrike is reporting after hours here. Heads up on that. Initial pop here. Earnings do look like they've dropped. So we do have a slight initial pop here on CrowdStrike. So let's see how this plays out. See if we are seen to be holding above today's anchored VWAP at the moment. So heads up on that. I'd say above 515.60. They have to be more bullish than bearish on that announcement. But it just dropped. It doesn't look like it's getting very far, very fast here. So that's a warning. Where are we on the bigger time frames? 517 there. So heads up on that. You would have thought with this pattern, this thing here would be going up a lot faster. So heads up on that. Uh, this resistance right here. Yeah, so CrowdStrike, that's in my opinion, one of the big ones for tonight. Marvell is another one. Okay, let's check Marvell out real quick. Marvell Technologies, it has dropped. It's up a little bit here after hours on the news. Heads up on that. And tomorrow we have Snow, Salesforce, AI. So we do have three of the big ones tomorrow. Heads up on that. So yeah, there you go. Snow, Crim's, Salesforce, Snow and Crim are the big ones. Look at that. Heads up on that going forward here. So we'll look at those charts real quick here. Snow hit and miss on their earnings. So we had a good earnings report last time. We got snow going on here going into earnings. So, uh, yeah, it looks like we could be up in here in the 290s tomorrow. We'll see how it plays out on snow. And then Salesforce has been under appreciating here. So this one here could be a left for dead stock. So be mindful of that on the 4 hour. Uh, yeah, look at that on the daily. Let's go out here on the 3 year weekly. Or, yeah, 3 year weekly. We're at a major. We could be potentially at a major base down here in Salesforce. This thing has been left for dead. So heads up on that. Uh, this is going to be really interesting on Salesforce. Uh, I'd be, I would not be personally wanting to be heavily short on that one, given how far it's already came down. But we'll see how it plays out. And to finish my video off here real quick, so we're still above our daily 50 and daily 20 on the Russell here. It does look like we are trying to break support after hours here on the Russell, but like I said, our moving averages are still below us. It's nothing to get overly concerned about yet, but we do have, it is showing a little bit of weakness here into the very uh, the close here. So nothing overly warning here to the downside at yet. I am a little concerned that the rotation out of the Russell and uh, what's been going on in the bond markets are getting worrying the Russell a little bit here in rotation back in tech. But I do think the big driver for tech has been this run up into these SMH or semiconductor related, uh, you know, high growth names for earnings the next 2 days. So be very mindful of that. What's going on here? As CrowdStrike, we wouldn't want to see CrowdStrike just crash and burn. Uh, in the after hours here. So we're holding around the 518 after these earnings came out. So it's obviously that they seem to be good enough for the markets. So it actually looks pretty good actually here right after they dump the wire here. Okay. Thanks a lot. I will see you tomorrow. Please like me if you get a chance, and hopefully we make some money tomorrow.